This was possibly the most embarrassing performance I have ever seen by the Indiana Fever. They went up 8-2 in the game. And then this is, by the way, 2 minutes and 20 seconds into the game. They went up 8-2. And what happens when they go up 8-2? Stephanie White calls on 3 bench players to get off the bench. They are 8-2 up after 2.5 minutes, and she already has 3 bench players waiting to come on for Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Lexi. It ends up being 8-4 when the sub is made. So the sub is made at 8-4. And what happens after the sub is made? A 15-2 run. And suddenly all momentum's gone. Caitlin checks back in the game, immediately picks up a foul. She can't do anything because of foul trouble. She got in no rhythm. Caitlin took 6 shots today. I don't know where the 7th shot came from. It says 7. I think one of them was a shot. And she just got the ball tipped away. She shot 6 shots. She made a field goal in the first 30 seconds of the game. Did not make a field goal for the rest of the game. They were, and ironically, Caitlin Clark was only -8. Raven Johnson fouled out of this game in 9 minutes. In 9 minutes of action, Raven Johnson fouled out of this game. The only players on the Indiana Fever team that weren't embarrassingly bad is, I'll give credit where credit's due to Grace Van Slooten, who on this app apparently did not even see the floor. I'll give credit where credit's due to Grace Van Slooten. KK works hard. Completely lost on the offensive end. But this is one of those performances where you look at it and you're like, something's wrong. Something's wrong. I don't know if it's a coach issue. I don't know if it is it was only a 16-point game. It was only a 16-point game, which is madness because the end of the game didn't matter. Let's just look at the underlying stats. The underlying stats actually have it as a 16-point game. But I'm going to rant about Stephanie White in a little bit. If this was an NBA team and they came out with this performance, based on... there should not be loyalty towards Stephanie White. She's been there for a year. If this was an NBA team and they put out this type of effort in back-to-back games, the coach would be fired, or there would at least be conversations about the coach being fired. And I think there has to be at least conversations had about whether or not you fire Stephanie White after this game, because this was all her. I think this is all her. The Indiana Fever in the first quarter, it was a 6-point game, and the Indiana Fever had on the floor Kelsey Mitchell, Raven Johnson, KK Timpson, Grace Van Slooten, and Sophie. KK and Grace Van Slooten were the 2 post players. Grace Van Slooten and KK were the 2 post players in the first quarter at the same time, because Steph White didn't want to move out of her rotations. It's bad. It's really bad. And look, the Fever are 500, but have had the easiest start for the year. They lost to Portland. They literally made, Aaliyah Boston had the fakest 18-point game I've ever seen. Kelsey Mitchell was complete and utter dog shit. Appreciate that, Danny. Really, thank you for $5. Kelsey Mitchell is going to put up an empty points. This is Kelsey Mitchell pre Caitlin Clark showing up, where the team is complete and utter garbage. She's going to score 18 points and the efficiency is not going to look too bad. And you watch the game and it's this player stinks. Lexi Hull, 0 points. Sophie had 15. She hit a lot of shots in garbage time. MHA, I thought was okay. Raven was awful. I don't understand that people realize that, don't people realize that Raven, they did not guard Raven Johnson. They decided that they were going to, they were actually going to just let Raven Johnson do whatever she wanted. They said they were going to let Raven do whatever she wanted. They played sweeper. They played Emily Enksler when Raven Johnson was on the floor as a sweeper. They employed a sweeper. And it wasn't only that when Ty Harris was on the floor. Ty Harris, who is supposed to be on this team for defense, they literally were just like, we are okay. We are going to, we're okay with going at you we're going to leave you open every single possession. We don't care. We actually don't care. And then Ty Harris, in the end, shoots, one shot less than Caitlin Clark. They doubled Caitlin Clark, and instead of using the advantage gained by Caitlin Clark being doubled, they decided that they didn't care about that advantage, that because Caitlin's being double teamed, they're going to take her off the ball. They're going to take her off the ball because of that. And I'm not saying this was a good performance by Caitlin Clark. It was not a good performance by Caitlin Clark. It really wasn't. It was an unbelievable first 2 minutes before they pulled her out. And you've got a rhythm point guard who, by the way, because they started trapping, you were so scared about Caitlin turning the ball over that you took her off the point guard position. Well, whoop-de-doo, Steph. You got what you wanted. Caitlin Clark only turned the ball over once. But your team turned it over 17 times. Maybe, even though Caitlin individually turns the ball over a lot, maybe, it's better for the team if she has the ball in her hands. But an embarrassing performance all around. I'm going to be honest, everyone talks about the effort, this, effort, that. I think it's really hard to put in a whole bunch of effort when you are 5'9" guarding centers, like Raven Johnson was. It's hard to look like you're putting in effort when your team's getting out rebounded. But it's not the fault of the players. It's not Raven Johnson's fault. She's being sealed by Megan Gustafson. It's not Ty Harris's fault that she's having to guard Emily Ensler. It's not Aaliyah Boston's fault that she's being left on an island guarding Carla Late. It's not Caitlin's fault that they're soft switching while she's in foul trouble. That's none of their faults. There's a lot of fault on the players for the Indiana Fever today. There is a lot of faults with how the Indiana Fever play today. Their defense is entirely on Stephanie White. Entirely on her. And I'm going to be real here. The Indiana Fever, if they play like this, and I'm not talking about effort, I'm not talking about shooting, because if you look at the underlying numbers, I don't think they shot that bad. They shot bad from 3. Okay, cool. Even if they made 8 for 20, even like 10 for 22 from 3, they still lose that game. Even if they might go 10 for 22, they still lose the game. They played, the only reason this was a close game is because they bullshitted. We let Meg Gustafson shoot 100% from the field. And why did Meg Gustafson shoot 100% from the field? Because everything was open layups or with a 5'8" player. With a 5'8" player guarding her. Which is not the fault of the players, by the way. This is on the coaching staff. And they weren't even hard switching. They were soft switching. All the Portland did was, Portland didn't run an offense. They did not run an offense for 4 quarters. They did not run an offense. They walked. They literally just exchanged positions. They didn't even set screens. They just pretended to set screens. They exchanged positions till they got the mismatches they wanted. Either burned someone on the perimeter or dumped it inside. That's all they did. And if they doubled down, kicked to a shooter. It's very simple. You can't do much. When it comes down to it. The Fever aren't in a playoff position right now. Aaliyah got hurt because she left her on in garbage time. It is absolutely the most pathetic. So it's like Caitlin's not the best point guard in the league. Caitlin played 2 mins at PG. And then her coach got spooked. She played 2 minutes at point guard, 3 assists. And she just played decoy. Caitlin played fucking decoy. In a game where nothing worked, Caitlin played decoy. Caitlin literally played decoy. It's fucking bullshit, man. It is bullshit.